The Battlefield 2042 beta, or beta if you're an American, is now available to play across PC and console. Today we are going to take a quick look at some of the critical settings that controller players will need to change in order to get themselves ahead of the game. The settings menu is complicated and confusing, to put it mildly, so I'm going to tell you exactly which settings you need to be changing and can hopefully save you a headache. Hey everybody, my name's Ben, we are the Beard Guys, and welcome back to some more Battlefield content. If you find today's video useful at all, then drop a thumbs up down below and subscribe to the channel, as I'll be putting out tons of helpful console-themed videos for Battlefield 2042, as well as lots of other console FPS games. So first, there are two main sensitivity settings that I want to direct you to, and then I'll run through a few other settings that you might want to take a look at later. The first key setting is the catchily named Soldier Stick Aim Sensitivity setting, found under the controller and on foot tabs. I think of this really as your general sens setting, and whilst it does have a knock-on effect on your ADS settings as well, you can counter those with separate sliders. I've turned mine up to 50, and this allows me to spin around and see what's going on a lot more quickly. The default was pretty slow and felt too sluggish for my tastes. After turning this up, you're probably going to find that your aiming down sight sens now feels too fast and twitchy, and this is where you scroll down to the Soldier Zoom Aim Sensitivity slider under the zoom section of the controller and on foot tabs. Bringing this slider up or down will not affect your sens when just looking around normally, but it will decrease or increase your sensitivity setting when aiming down your sights. I brought mine down to 20, and this now gives me a pretty high general sens to look around with, combined with a nice low sens for when I'm using my gun sights. Of course, you may prefer playing higher sensitivity for your ADS, so of course set that however you like, but personally for this style of game on controller, I really enjoy a high general sens and a low ADS sens. This allows you a nice balance of quick reaction speed mixed with the ease of keeping your sights trained on your enemy. If you find you're snapping onto targets and then when you're trying to move to track them, you're just pulling the stick too far and pulling your aim off of them, then you're going to want to try and bring your ADS speed down. You can go and customize things even further by scrolling down to the Advanced tab and adjusting the individual sensitivity for every type of magnification you can use. So if you want to make your sniper scope a lower or higher sens than your regular red dot or iron sight, then this is the section you want to tweak. You can change all sorts of different and confusing sounding things here, but personally I've just left them as default. You can also tweak things over on the controller tuning tab found under controller settings. This page allows you to turn the controller vibration off, as well as adjusting your dead zones for your sticks and even for your triggers. Lowering the dead zones on your sticks is going to make them feel more responsive, as it will require less movement for them to register the input. Adjusting your trigger dead zones can also be useful, as this is essentially like setting up a hair trigger, which means that you can fire your gun by pressing in the trigger less than you would otherwise. So those settings should help you get your movement and aim feeling good, and whilst we're here, let's just run through a couple of other useful settings you may wish to change. Under the General tab, you can find the option to disable crossplay if you don't wish to have this. Personally, I've left it on. I'm on the Series X, and so it should be paired with other next-gen players as well as potentially PC players, and I didn't find I was struggling too much to hit my targets. Whilst there isn't a setting for it or any hard info out there, it seems, it does feel to me like the game has some kind of very slight aim assist or an aim slowdown effect, as I was snapping onto targets much more consistently than I would have expected to. When I compare it to how consistent I am playing something like PUBG on console with a controller which has no aim assist at all, I was definitely a lot more accurate on Battlefield than I was on PUBG, which is a game I've spent thousands of hours playing. Having spoken to other experienced controller players, they've generally agreed with this sentiment, but I'd be interested to hear your thoughts in the comments over what you feel the aim assist deal is in Battlefield. I think there's definitely something very slight there, but I've seen a lot of people say they don't think there is any. Moving on, under the display video tabs, you can adjust your FOV up as high as you like. I've got mine kind of in the middle, but if you like a nice wide screen, you can throw that all the way up and see pretty much back to your own arse. You can also disable your motion blur here, which I would recommend doing. Camera shake can be turned off under the display HUD general section, and in this section, you can also enable various types of colorblind mode. The controller schemes page is pretty useless at the moment since it's clearly meant to show a picture of the scheme that you're changing on the right hand side, you know, the picture of the controller and the arrows and the text, but that's not present at the moment, making it a pretty confusing page to navigate. It may well line up fairly neatly with previous Battlefield controller schemes, so if you used one of those and you happen to remember how it worked, then you might have some luck playing around with these. So I'll leave that there for today. I just wanted to share those little things with you, particularly those two settings at the start that helped me get my aim so much more consistent after playing the beta over the last day or two. Hopefully you enjoyed the video. Don't forget to drop a thumbs up and subscribe for more console content. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you next time.